Yes. Well, for now, shifting gears, we'll go to Kartik. He says, listening to all the discourse around big tech hiring instead of acquiring, I felt a second order impact is being ignored. Almost all the big tech companies were driven by founders, but also had young talent around them to help build their vision. Now, with Meta's ability to hire all the top talent at compensation that is impossible for any startup to match, the ability for a new world altering company to match the existing giants seems tougher than ever. It's hard to measure this because it's hard to identify companies that don't exist, but it seems like anyone who starts a promising company, even if the founder wants to continue independently, can just have his engineering team decimated by big tech. Ben, that's an interesting note, and obviously one that is centrally relevant to OpenAI right now. Do you have any thoughts on that second order impact?
Yeah, I think this has been a real concern in startups actually going back for a while as big tech salaries have gotten larger and larger. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
why, like, just it's much more stable. It's like life's easier and you can make a lot of money. I also think an important point here is the way to get paid to really get life altering money has always been to do a startup. Like that's how you really get rich, or to be a very early employee at a company that is absolutely massive. Like if you were employed, the famous like janitor or who was it? Someone painted a mural at early Facebook headquarters and got paid in stock, and that's like a millionaire or
Oh,
whatever it might be, right? Um,
yeah.
the that to what
That's how you get
extent?
wealthy. You can get rich working at big tech. You get wealthy going to a startup that hits it big.
Well, or being a founder.
Okay.
But now, like, how do we measure wealth, right? Like, these people getting paid this money are wealthy,
Pretty wealthy.
right? Like, I think
Yeah.
what 50 million.
The
What's your
AI
at? I don't know.
researchers are doing
Right.
pretty
And
well for
so,
themselves.
how many of these folks actually would have started a company, but now won't because they're getting plenty wealthy enough by going? So it's not just the early employees that I've been, or I was sort of focused on the riffraff, and
Mm-hmm.
Kartik's focused on the really like core early engineers. It's also a dampening effect on founders themselves of that potential pool. So again, maybe it's just the reality of things. Like I wrote that end of the beginning ages ago that look, we're settling into these companies are core and everything else will sort of be on top of them. Maybe this is
Yeah.
just a manifestation of that. This era was going to come to an end regardless. And it's fun to blame you and the other regulators, but there may be some, this is just the natural path of things.
Yeah. That would make sense. So on OpenAI, do you have any thoughts on what's happened to them and what, if any, impact that would have on their prospects for the next couple of years? Because obviously it's pure speculation, but like watching all of this shake out, they lose person after person after person, plus members of the leadership team over the last couple of years. Like at some point, it seems like that would have to matter, but I don't know. Maybe it won't. And maybe their lead in the consumer space is so entrenched at this point that the actual engineering is a secondary concern for them. But
Well,
again, I don't
all of
know.
this is really bad for OpenAI and for a few reasons. The first and foremost is that the fact that it's Meta specifically, in Meta's going after the consumer space, which is the
Yeah.
exact reason why we're optimistic about OpenAI is they've captured the consumer space. So like it may seem mad, like no one else is going to capture the sort of market that ChatGPT did. It's like a suicide mission to try. Unless you're Meta, and it's like that's like this is our natural state of affairs. And by the way, to the extent where I'm like, OpenAI needs to build an advertising product. That's how you get a scalable, defensible advantage in the consumer space. That's what Meta already has. Like, and
Yeah.
they're not paying for all this talent with VC money or SoftBank money or whatever it might be. They're paying with it from their profits. So they have a
Yeah.
massive monetization possibility, and they have just a huge infrastructure advantage, sort of generally. So now what OpenAI has is they already have ChatGPT. It's already established all the use that it has. They have what should be a more unified and faster moving culture. But to your point, it's getting picked apart. They've been losing talent for years and years. At what point does it actually hurt?
Right. I'm
And
kind of
so
waiting for the shoe to drop, but it's hard to know what that would even look like, because everyone in my life knows AI because they know ChatGPT and uses ChatGPT synonymously with AI at this point.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff does speak to the disruptive versus sustaining sort of ask question about AI, right? Like Meta is acting very rationally if it's sort of the case, which I made the case last year, that AI is good for their business. If it's good for
Hmm.
their business, then there's literally no like they this is a rational response. If AI was bad for their business, this would be an insane response because like let's spend billions of dollars to just to screw up our business model. No, this is all
Founder
if
mode,
they
man.
win, it's super clear how they win and like how this benefits their business. That's why I've always been very optimistic about them. And if anything, what Zuckerberg is doing, you could frame it in one way that the fact he needed to do this means you were wrong, Ben. They were really bad on AI. I would say, no, it means I was right. The opportunity is so clear that the failure to achieve that opportunity is a glaring mistake to fix. And Mark Zuckerberg is fixing it no matter how much it costs to fix because the opportunity is so clear. And a lot of that
Yeah.
opportunity absolutely comes at the expense of OpenAI.